Welcome to ComSpark. Today we are in Columbus, Ohio. My name is Steve Gruetter. I'm on the Executive Host Committee for ComSpark, and I'll be your guest moderator today. Today we're here with Willie Neumann, a respected entrepreneurial consultant in the IT space here in Central Ohio. Willie, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Steve.
Absolutely. So, what qualifications should a CEO be looking from their CIO for that role today?
Right. I think there's a tradition of people looking for somebody who's a technology person for that position. And oftentimes when I get in engagements, people will say, oh, you're the IT guy, you're the tech guy, you must know about computers and stuff. The truth of the matter is, a CIO, a good CIO should be a good business person. And their responsibility is to communicate with the community at large, to support their team, give their team visibility within the organization, and to make sure that the organization understands all tasks and the responsibilities that the IT support staff does, as well as any other folks that are in the IT organization. So I think when a CEO goes out and looks for a CIO, they should focus less on the technology. And as one of my clients once said, look for somebody who's a translator, who can talk to them in common language about how technology supports their organization and how technology then makes their business better and works toward growth in that company.
Really more about leadership and communication.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like any other business position.
Exactly. And sadly, at that level, the organization, people often don't look at a CIO in that role. They think of them just as a technology person and not a business person that has the interest of the success of that business at heart.
Do you think that's changing?
I hope it's changing. I don't know. I still run into it fairly frequently where C-level people will think that they can make decisions and keep the IT folks out of the decision process. Any business now is really run by technology, regardless of what you do. So that role has become much more important. The other thing that's become extremely important for a CIO is to have the ability to communicate with a wide variety of customers, because everyone in that business is a customer. Whereas if you're a finance person, like maybe the CFO, you typically report to a CEO and have other responsibilities, but you don't have the breadth of experience in an organization that a CIO has. So I hope that businesses are starting to understand that CIOs are less the tech geeks that they historically thought they were, and more of a business partner as every other person in the C-level suite.
Certainly agree there. So you mentioned communication, you mentioned leadership. What are other attributes that make up a good CIO?
I think first of all, they have to be a good listener. Secondly, they have to understand the business. It's very critical to not hide in the technology and keep the business at arm's length when it comes to communicating about what you do. Every business needs to be successful using all the tools that are available to them. And a CIO has a number of tools and people available to them that can make that business successful. So they have to make sure that other people at the C-level of the organization understand that they have these tools, but they're also aware of what the business does. Technology should drive the business needs. It should help the business be successful. It should help the business with its growth. And a CIO's responsibility is really to understand the ins and outs of the business and then translate that into bringing his or her tool set to the table in order to be able to make the business successful.
Makes plenty of sense. So here in Central Ohio, we've had a couple of situations where we've had CIOs at organizations like Incoba and Scott's have been transitioned to the Chief Strategy Officer roles.
Right.
What key takeaways, what key lessons can the CFO and the CEO learn from the CIO?
That's a great question. And I think if I look at those roles in marketing folks as well, the CIO, and a transition to a strategy position, I think makes a lot of sense. A CIO is really responsible to many, many more customers in a business than a CMO or a CFO. And I think that if a CFO were to broaden their horizon and understand the roles of all the people in the business, focus obviously focus on numbers, but also focus on business success outside of numbers as it relates to people, abilities within the organization, qualifications of the folks that work there, I think it'd be a very valuable lesson. And I also think that at the C-suite level, if they were able to look at a CIO and realize again that this isn't some technology geek that's in this position, but is a shared business partner. There's a lot that the CIO can help other C-level people understand about communicating with a much broader audience than they traditionally communicate with.
Makes plenty of sense. Willie, thank you so much for being a part of this.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Willie, for joining us today. For more information about Tech Power Players and the ComSpark event coming up here in Central Ohio on November 12th, please see comspark.tech. Willie, thanks again, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it.